Blocktrades just came out yesterday and said that they're stopping US operations because of uncertainty with, what's going on, especially with the SEC, like cracking down on everybody. I think the SEC has like 55 open lawsuits against various, mainly crypto exchanges, but just crypto companies in general. So yeah, that's definitely bearish, I think, on the industry. Just all this regulatory uncertainty, like what are companies, what are startups supposed to do if they can't innovate and they're afraid to the SEC, the government is actively making people afraid to innovate in this industry, and I think that's a huge problem. And I think
they've been doing that in more than crypto over the last couple of decades, but it's just 100%. Really now blatantly obvious with crypto.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think they're very obvious about it with crypto, but they were still active, but a lot more discreet about it in terms of, tech in general, but just other industries. Crypto is just a very obvious one that they're anti-crypto in general. Coinbase came out. So Blocktrades came out yesterday, and obviously Blocktrades is a relatively small exchange, but we all know them being on Hive. But, Coinbase came out and said that they are considering taking all their operations overseas. And obviously Coinbase is like the number one in this industry especially in terms of like fiat to crypto, and especially in terms of like American exchange of crypto. And they're literally a publicly filed company, publicly traded company. So the implications for that are just insane. Like if Coinbase goes overseas, you're going to see like a huge pushback on not just the SEC, but just in general on politicians who are anti-crypto. I think you're going to see a huge pushback, and you're already kind of seeing it. If you watched the hearing where Gary Gensler, chairman of the SEC, was being questioned about about all of his actions, especially towards, being anti-crypto, it was really funny to watch and, very cringy to watch. He was, if you look at his hand, like one thing that I was reading comments about and then laughing as I saw it, is when he's being questioned about things and you look at his hands, he's like shaking, like his whole body is shaking. So he is very rattled. Like physically rattled by everything that's going on. So one thing he was questioned on was, is Ethereum a security? They said, can you just answer yes or no? Is Ethereum a security or is it a commodity? Because the CFTC is calling Ethereum a commodity. This SEC is calling it a security. But then when he's questioned about it, he said he can't talk to any specific crypto, specifically. So he says, he can only say broad-based things about what he believes is a security. He really, for 4 minutes, he was basically asked, is Ethereum a security? And he couldn't answer it. So that was pretty bullish for Ethereum, I think, because it's kind of reminiscent of when they deemed that Bitcoin wasn't a security. And I think Ethereum's headed down that path as well. And then when you take a look at like some of the other stuff that he was questioned about, like I forgot who it was, but one of the people questioning him was like battering him with questions about, has it been harder for crypto companies to innovate in the United States since you've taken office at the SEC? And he can't answer yes or no, but we all know the answer is yes. It's pretty factual that there are less crypto companies being created and less crypto companies actively in the United States. They're all going overseas. Even FTX was based out of the Bahamas, but they still had a huge US presence, which is also another question he was asked about, which is how many times did he meet with FTX? And he met with them twice. And, Gary Gensler, like his whole platform that he stands on is that he is out to protect the individual retail investor. Yet he met with FTX twice and was chairman of the SEC during the downfall of FTX. Obviously, he's not doing a good job. And one of the people on the board were saying that they proposed something where they want to remove the chair of the SEC and replace him with a director position. And he also is moving to not allow any previous chairman of the SEC to be that director position. And then he also wants the director to be, answering to a board. So I thought that was really interesting, like basically a full scale change of the way that things work. So I learned a lot at that hearing just about the general sentiment that there are a lot of politicians that, you can either call them pro crypto or just not anti-crypto, but there are definitely a lot of politicians out there who are not as big on this whole crackdown thing as other people like Gary Gensler. And I find that really interesting in terms of what it means for the industry, because one of the big questions at the end was, do you think we are driving companies and innovation into the hands of, China and the CCP? And obviously Gary can't answer that, but the answer is yes. Like China came out and said that they're looking to work with crypto and get it integrated with their banks and their banking system. Meanwhile, the United States is basically banning everything and pushing innovation out of the country. And if you see Coinbase leave, that's just going to be, exhibit A of what the US is doing. And this whole country is built on innovation. So for us to be pushing innovation out of the country is completely counterintuitive to what built everything that's here.
Indeed, but
that's my rant.
The problem with innovation is less control, and apparently the theme of the last few decades has been more control, more control, more control, which any good politician in history pretty much shared. More government is never the answer and is generally a negative. We need the grips to be loosened of the greedy politicians that are the best stock traders in history also.
Yeah, somehow they happen to be the best traders as well. I'm not sure how they must have done really well. And
there must be a politician trading camp school that no one else has access to.
Right.